Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Stock Market Show. This is your host, Shades. KULR stock sitting at 2.29. Buyers are stepping in. This is good. This is what we wanted. We wanted the market to pump. We wanted the market to go green. Specifically, the big boys. We don't care about anything else other than is Nvidia moving up? Is gold moving up? Silver is moving up. Are all the big players moving up? Specifically, Nvidia. If Nvidia is moving up, you better believe there's strength in the market. You can see that with quantum computing right now skyrocketing as well, and SoundHound. So Nvidia is showing strength. We're pumping. We're probably going to go to 150 plus if this continues, assuming the market doesn't react adversely to anything that Trump may or may not do. We don't know, right? We don't know what's going to happen, but as of right now, everything's looking good. This is like the best thing that could have happened with KULR stock. The market doesn't dump as a whole. Instead, we see strength in the AI robotics technology sector. And this should help KULR stock bottom out here because this is a bottom in my opinion. I'm still waiting, and you guys know me. I'm still waiting for the crossover. First of all, number two, you guys know me. You guys know me, right? I got strategy. I got strategy. I'm still gonna wait. I'm a bot. If crossover, I buy. But that doesn't mean I won't acknowledge when certain traders would jump in right here, right now. This is very clear to me. Not a bad idea to jump in. Again, that doesn't mean I'm going to jump in. I just know that very traditional, by the books, textbook traders would jump in here. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying it's a buy, but I am saying it's a buy, right? If you're a very textbook trader, if you're a machine like I am, because like institutions, they use algorithms. They don't care about they. I think they fired like a bunch of portfolio managers and just replaced them with AI, with an algorithm, because it's superior. So why would I try to be anything other than a machine, right? So until I get that crossover, I'm not buying. And if it runs, oh well. Ooh, oh no. I don't care. Like, it doesn't mean anything to me. I will always follow the system. I will always trust the system. Do you guys remember in the Discord when I bought Rigetti and I averaged up? It was a day trade and I averaged up on a day trade and everyone looked at me like I was crazy. Everyone looked at me sideways like, huh? I've never seen anyone average up on a day trade. And I'm like, because I trust my system. I don't trade with emotion, none of that. It's all, I'm a bot. That's it. Like in the markets, I behave like a bot, a very cheap bot, as you can imagine, but a bot nonetheless. So I'm still waiting for my crossover. But if you want to jump in here, and I said this before, there are very traditional by the books traders who would absolutely jump in, and I wouldn't blame you. This is a good spot to buy, in my opinion. And I don't see it going any lower with Nvidia showing strength in the market. But what we are going to need is probably a catalyst. We're going to need some news or something because right now we're literally going sideways. And you know what happens when a company doesn't drop PRs, doesn't communicate, nothing interesting is going on with the stock? Do you want to know what happens? It just if it eventually people get bored and they sell because we know how humans are, right? If price is a reflection of human behavior, then we would expect if no news or PR comes out to push up the price to get people excited and hype again, then what's going to happen? People are going to get bored and they're going to go chase something else. They'll sell off and be like, oh my God, let me go chase RGTI or all these other stocks that are moving 10% plus. Why would I sit with my money here in KULR that's just sitting there with barely moving? That's what it looks like to me. I've seen this before, so I'm telling you from experience. I've seen this before, and remember, if this price action is a reflection of human behavior, you think people are just going to sit there and just watch as everything else skyrockets around them? People will sell, and that might be why. And that I'm just saying, this is I guess some psychology here. That might be why we get this price action where we have a huge run and then we kind of just go sideways somewhere before inevitably people get bored and it just slowly falls off the face of the earth essentially. That might be why that we get that price action, right? We've had many pumps. It pumps to 90 cents, comes down, and it just goes sideways. People get bored with it, and eventually it just slowly falls lower and lower. Back to the 200 weighted moving average, which is another indicator I use to that I use as an entry point. Isn't that interesting what I'm showing you right now? Look, this is just speculation. I'm not saying that's how it is, but we pump, we kind of go sideways, and people get bored, and it just drops. Oh, a secondary pump, woo! But ultimately, it still comes down, then goes sideways, and then it just keeps going lower because it needs the PR. It needs something to get the momentum going, to get people excited, right? This is again just speculation. If we assume that price is nothing more than a reflection of human behavior, psychology, whatever you want to call it. Isn't it interesting that it's kind of doing the same thing as it always has done, right? It comes down, goes sideways, goes lower. It comes down, goes sideways. People get bored. They see other stocks pumping, and they're like, "Man, I'm missing out. I could just take my green and rotate it into all these other stocks that are pumping." And then it just goes lower. And I'm waiting for my crossover or the 200 weighted moving average. Either or can be used as an entry point. I'm giving you the signal right now. The 200 weighted moving average, when it touches it, you buy and you take your profit or whatever your strategy may be. Take profit, buy in. It depends, right? If you're a short seller and you shorted it up here, you would probably want to take profit here. That's why I said take profit. If you're a short seller, because I don't short, but a man, sometimes I'm like, maybe I should short because people are so stupid. They think, oh no, this is just a little dip. Oh no, hey my friend, that all that buying pressure comes back as selling pressure. Or else why would anyone short if no one ever sold? I want you to think about that one. So if you're a short and it touches the 200 weighted moving average, it might be a good time to cover. That's also going to push up the price for longs. And we might get some confluence of crossover plus touching the weighted moving average. I don't know which one I'm going to jump into first, but when you zoom out on the chart, it's very clear to me, based off of how I see the markets, this one loves to pump and then comes right back to that 200 weighted moving average. And that's when you want to start buying and accumulating. That way you're not buying up here, you're buying down here. You're buying at a huge discount compared to unfortunately the suckers that hold it all the way down and keep buying the dip as it keeps dipping. Does that make sense? Like, you're not a sucker buying up here. You were patient and disciplined and waited for that 200. Wait for the touch of that, and you'd be buying it around probably $1 by the time it moves up here. If it ever comes down there, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe it does, but it always has. So let's not, the market doesn't care what I think, but I'm gonna assume that we're gonna come down until it shows me otherwise. Because people are gonna get bored. That's how humans are, right? They're gonna get bored. Like, oh my god, I'm just sitting with 10K here and nothing's happening for days or weeks. Meanwhile, everything else around me is pumping. Like, maybe I should just start selling and get out and go somewhere else with my money. And that leads to selling pressure just enough to push it down lower and lower. And then eventually we touch that purple line. So you can use either or, right? Maybe it never comes down to the purple line. Guess what? That's why you got this other entry strategy, because these are entry strategies, the crossover, which means you have buying momentum and pressure on your side, like it did here. It pumped and you make your money, right? That's just, there you go. I just gave you two strategies for entry. Wait for the 200 weighted moving average or the crossover. Up to you. You got to be able to adapt. And you got to have different strategies sometimes for the same chart. Different time frames might call for different strategies. It's very complex, but I found what works for me. Because that way I'm not, if you're waiting for this, you're never buying up here. Let me go back in the past just to show you, because I don't want you to think I'm full of it. Again, this is how I view the markets. Everyone else, if you're a by the books traditional textbook trader, you might not see things this way. You might think I'm crazy for waiting for the 200, but I think it's Charlie Munger who said, if you want to outperform the SPY, just buy at the 200 moving average. But most people don't have that patience or discipline to wait for all that selling pressure to come in and push it back down. Because you have to wait quite a bit, right? You had to wait from April 11th till May. So you have to wait like a month, sometimes longer, depending on the stock. You have to wait months sometimes for it to come back down nice and cheap to that 200. Most people don't want to wait months to make money. They'd rather. This is why I have such a high win rate, because I take few trades and I wait for things to get cheap. And if it never comes down there, well, guess what? There's plenty of stocks out there. Ooh, look, there's all these stocks. Ooh, like I could just use my strategy with other stocks. I don't have to sit there just trading one stock. Uranium, I called this one out when it touched that moving average, and we sold it, and we made a nice little profit. I'm actually doing a 100% win rate, uh, weighted moving average strategy, and I'm going to prove that you can make 100% win rate. It's not about the return, it's about 100% win rate. And so we buy when it comes here, and we sold it. Woohoo. And I'll show off the 100% win rate by the end of the year. It's achievable, but again, most people don't have the patience to wait. This is ubiquitous. With any stock, this works. So it's up to you how you want to play it. I'm just giving you the tools, but you're the man who has to, or woman, because there's actually a lot of girls who, for some reason, they love tech. They love tech. So I would wait. Patience does pay. And the reason it pays is because it takes so much. Look at how far away the price is from that 200. It's far away. Do you really want to buy it when it's so, I don't want to say overvalued, but when it's so far away from the average? I want you to think about what I just said. Do you really want to buy when it's so far away from the average? Or would you rather buy when it's at the average or below? Because if it's at the average or below, you're buying essentially at $1 and under, which those of you holding from 23 cents would kind of be like, oh man, is it really going to come down that cheap? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't know. I just trade off of my signals. The market tells me what to do. I don't try to tell the market what to do. I don't know what's going to happen. People always ask me, what do you think of this? What do you think is going to happen? I'm like, what? How would I know? I'm just a bot. If crossover, buy. If price touches 200 weighted moving average, buy. That's it. You guys think I'm kidding? Nvidia, I called that one out a couple of days ago. Do you want to know why? Can you see why I called it out a couple of days ago? What did it touch a couple of days ago? Ooh, it was really close to that 200 weighted moving average, and we bought in, and we're still holding for 150. I actually averaged up and added some more today at 140 once I saw the breakout here above 140. And people I know are going to be like, you average up on plays? Yeah, because again, I trust the system. Just to be clear, this weighted moving average strategy only works with stocks that go up over the long term. Like look at that quarterly on Nvidia; it just keeps going up. Hard to lose when things just keep going up. Long term, just to be clear, this is a quarterly chart. The 200 weighted moving average strategy also works with stocks that go sideways, like KULR stock. It does not work well with stocks that go down. Do not use this strategy that I just gave you for free on the house. Most of you aren't going to bother with it. Let's keep it real. Most people don't have that discipline. Look at this. Look at this. Look at Mullen stock. What does it do? It just keeps going down. It's the opposite of Nvidia. It just keeps going down. Let's look at the quarterly real quick. Let's have a good laugh. What is that? There's people that have sent me messages. Hey, what do you think of the stock? And I look at it and I'm like, bro, that's garbage. What are you talking? Look at this. It just keeps going down. Why would you not buy Nvidia over this? It's the opposite. Why would you buy Mullen? If anything, short it to oblivion along with everyone else. I don't short though. I don't care about that. I only go long. And I wait for my 200 or my MACD crossover, whichever comes first. Sometimes they come at the same time. Anyways, yeah, do not use the 200 weighted moving average strategy on a stock that just keeps going down long term, because you're just going to get destroyed and hold the bag all the way into infinity because it just keeps going down. So there you go. Hopefully, again, every time I make a video, I try to make it a lesson. But I'm also telling you how I see things. Again, I'm not a very traditional by the books. I've read the books. I see how others trade. They set stop losses and all this garbage, and I'm like, you don't need a stop loss on something that continues to go higher over the long term with something that goes sideways. That doesn't mean you don't take losses. Let me just repeat that again. You don't need a stop loss if it keeps going higher over the long term. That doesn't mean you don't take losses, just to be clear. You just don't need to have a stop. But maybe you will have to take a loss every now and then. And it's a big loss when you do take it, but you make so much money hand over fist because you stick to the system that the one time you take a loss, it's no big deal. It's one of those, right? High win rate, but the one time you take a loss, it hurts a little, but whatever. You still end up green. It's one of those strategies. It's not like the other kind of strategies where you You win 4 times out of 10 trades and you make a lot on those 4 trades, but the other 6 you lose a small amount, but you still end up profitable. Like, so you, yeah, I know some of you are like, wait, you can lose out of 10 trades, you can lose 6 of those and still be profitable? Yeah, but you got to develop the system for that. That's a very complex topic, developing systems. It took me years to develop my systems because you got to test them, especially because I trade the daily. I don't really trade anything else. Literally, all I trade is the daily. Why would I trade anything else? I found what works. So hopefully, this is what's a good lesson for you guys. Um, Again, if you're a traditional by the books trader, you probably already bought in. I'm not a traditional by the books trader. I stick to my essentially my algorithm. I'm just a bot. That's it. I'm a bot. I'm not even a guy. I'm a bot at this point. I might as well just be a bot. The Shades bot. I should make a Shades bot for the Discord now that I think about it. I have to pay someone for that. We'll see. I'm gonna start commissioning some stuff and we'll see. We'll see what happens. But I got a lot coming for you guys. I know a lot of you are new, but I promise you, if you're patient and disciplined, the market rewards that. If you're not, good luck. And let me show you Stag. Stag, we've been buying this one ever since it went under its purple line. Ever since it went under it, we just keep accumulating it. And guess what? We're also averaging up as it goes back to that purple line, which most people don't average up because they don't have a system. They don't have the data to know like, hey, I should average up on this because this is going to be a winner in the future. It's going to come back to that purple line and then above it. And then, yeah, once it's above the purple line, you don't want to buy, right? That's you don't want to buy. You want to scale out when it's above it. But we've been averaging up on this it's because you got to trust the system. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to go into it. This video would get too long. But I promise you, being patient and disciplined and having a system is just the market's a money printer. I gave you 2 systems. The only way you're going to get good at using these systems is A, you have to use it yourself. Probably for over a year to even get to where I'm at and be confident. Because there's someone in my Discord that sent me a message. Let me see if I can. Oh my God, so many messages. What do I do? Who do I? What do I respond to? Let's see. Who was it? This guy? Was it this guy? Okay, thanks. And RGTI is giving a bearish signal as it has not crossed over the resistance of 1292. It is revolving below as it is sellers taking control and not letting it cross the resistance. What do you think of that? And I just told him straight up. I told him straight up, look, I don't care. I don't care about that at all. What matters is the MACD signal. Not yet, but it's about to. I trade like a bot. I don't care about anything else. If MACD crossover, buy. Else don't buy. And maybe it came out rude, but I'm just a bot. I don't care about the bearish signals and this and that and the other. No. You follow the system and you make money. And unfortunately, there are people in my Discord who are learning the hard way. They don't listen, and I tell them, look at this guy. I told him straight up, like, hey, if you listen to me, you're gonna make a lot of money. If you don't, you're gonna lose a lot of money. He sent me this picture. He was up 3 grand, and now he's down 1,000 since January 6th because he's over here chasing garbage. And I keep telling him, just listen to me, and you would have turned that 3K into like 6K instead of slowly giving it back because he's being stupid. That's all it comes down to. He's not listening to me. He's not following the system. That's all there is to it. So I'm showing you examples of different kinds of people in the Discord and in the markets. It's a reflection of he represents other people. Just to be clear, he's not. There's more people like him. On the other side of that, there's people who listen to me who turn 30K into 300K on SoundHound. Wow, man, I really appreciate it a lot. I like your honesty. I'm a big fan. I came across your YouTube channel from YouTube videos from SoundHound. I watched a lot of different YouTubers, but yours was very clear to the point, and your analysis came out correctly. You know why my analysis comes out correctly? Because I trade like a bot. Yes, I will have patience, and will learn more about options and change my broker. I will be off for 1 week for holiday. I'll be watching the market closely. I will be a good listener and listen. And I will take the chance to grow my capital and see where we are in 2026. Thanks a lot, Shades. So I'm changing lives. It's funny to me. I'm showing you 2 different sides of the coin. I'm changing the lives of the people who listen. Those that don't, well, they're slowly eroding their capital, right? And I just want to show you that full transparency. Like you get to see those who don't listen, what happens to them? Slowly giving it back, or lose it all in one play. Those who listen, they make the most. I love color stock, but you got to believe me when I tell you I am patient, disciplined. You will be looking at me sideways when I start averaging up. You're like, "Wait, you're averaging up? Who does that?" I do. Cuz the system calls for that. And I want you guys to learn and succeed. But if you're not going to listen, up to you. And I know some more traditional by the books textbooks traders are looking at this and they're probably like scratching their heads because they trade very by the books. They probably heard me say no stop loss and they're like, "Huh? That's not what the books say." Screw the books. I met someone who studied finance, traded the markets, and they sucked. They held a bag all the way down from 50 cents to 1 cent on a penny stock. They thought they knew better than me because they got a 4 year degree. Ooh, oh, 4 year piece of paper. Ooh, oh, so impressive. Get out of here. I booted those people out of my Discord back then. I had another Discord back then. Now, like I said, I was not kidding you when I say you're meeting me. If you came across my channel recently, you're meeting me at in my prime. That's all I'm gonna say. If you want to join the Discord, patreon.com/shades and trades. If you're willing to listen, it's for you. If not, you'll probably join and just end up like that one guy who he's not listening and he's just going to slowly lose the money and eventually leave the Discord because he's going to blame me instead of looking at himself in the mirror and be like, "Oh no, this is my fault. I didn't listen." That's just how it is. I understand. I guess human psychology is really what I'm saying, right? That's what I understand. That's why I'm good at this. Combined with trading like a bot. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. Write this down. This was like a big lesson video. All right. Color stock, bullish long term, price target of $5. Be patient, be disciplined. I'll see you in the next one.